everyone in this town fooled. Till I caught her scheming little wandering hands on my husband down by the school. She crossed that line, so I had a point to prove. Had to teach that girl a lesson. What's a wife supposed to do? Now there's a few more bricks at the bottom of the lake. Morning comes, it'll be too late. I got blood on my boots, blood on my hands. Ain't
Welcome
no
everybody to
hiding
Picks and
away.
Bones. I'm your host Eric, bringing you the best in Americana, black dirt, red dirt, good old Carolina clay, and American rock and roll. Today, we have a special treat for you. We are talking with Erica Sunshine Lee. Erica, let me welcome you to the show. How are you this morning?
Thanks for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. You know, the sun's out. It's warm. Who can complain about, almost February and you can wear shorts?
Exactly. It is a lot warmer up here in Nashville than it was the past couple weeks.
For those of us not fortunate enough to be down at mile zero right now, which
True.
they're having a blast.
I really got to time my schedule better. I was playing down there 2 weeks ago, so I gotta work on that next year.
There you go. Yeah, I was scrolling through a few things before we went live, and I see my buddy down there playing in a bar, and I'm like, man, you guys got it made.
Exactly.
For sure. Well, you've got a new album out that came out this month that you're out promoting. Fire. It is Fire, by the way. I've listened to it through a couple of times. It's good stuff. I mean, it's very interesting to see where you've come since that first album. What was 2012?
Oh my gosh.
It's
been quite an up and down road since then, 12 years ago. But yeah, I just keep writing songs, putting them out there, and see where they lead.
Well, you found yourself, it seems like.
Yeah, it's still the same old crass, sassy, smart mouth. Say whatever comes up, comes out, girl.
Well, that's great. I can appreciate that, and I respect that. I like that a whole hell of a lot better than somebody that pretends to be something they're not.
They're not. Exactly.
Yeah. So
and I think throughout the ups and downs of the heartache and the life on the road and just kind of the battles that you go through, inner struggles and external struggles in this industry, I've got the 3-piece series. I released Ready in August or in June, and then Aim came out in September 11th, and then Fire January 1st. And so I'm going to put all three EPs on my new record that's coming out in March called Bulletproof.
nice. Love
And
it.
I've got 5 bonus tracks that are coming out. So it'll be 20 songs on the record, and I'm bringing the 9th album with a vengeance.
Hey, in this day and time when people are not, bringing that much music, people are struggling to put out an EP. And
Exactly.
then here you're getting ready to drop 20 songs.
Okay.
So how did you get your start, really?
Well, I was born and raised in Elberton, Georgia, the granite capital of the world. I even went to Anderson College for my first year of school. So I was in South Carolina for my first year of college. But then I went out to California. I was singing in church since I was 5 and started singing in every karaoke bar I could find, underage, breaking in. And then after a couple of years, I met a guy named John Lawton. He had a rock band, and he asked me if I wanted to sing with him. So we started playing music together. I sang with his band for 2 years. And then I quit and started my own. So after a heartbreak, I kept the guitar in the breakup. I went on YouTube. I learned a couple chords and started writing sad country songs. And after 10 songs, I went back to the studio and went to actually a trailer in Hartwell, Georgia with my buddy Byron Adams. And we recorded my first album, Struggle Street. And that was 12 years ago. So it's been really cool transition since then. I moved back to Nashville, and I've like I said, fixing to release the 9th album. Been touring full time across the globe the last 12 years. It's been a roller coaster and a heck of a life as a highway for sure with me up in the trains, planes, automobiles. But I've been able to tour in Australia 5 times and Europe 7 times and all over the world. And it's always interesting because you just never know what will inspire the next song, real life or destinations or having too many mojitos in Key West or
You'll have that.
A real live rum runner, like the story behind Bad Bitch. So it's really cool to be able to tell my stories and to be able to put myself in other characters, but also be able to kind of depict what's going on in my real life.
And that's what's great. You're staying genuine. And you find yourself in when you're songwriting? Do you find yourself where you're actually putting yourself into these characters, or do you actually have to go out there and live the character to be able to do that?
No, I actually really enjoy. I write for a lot of other artists too, so I think I've always enjoyed being able to kind of put myself into that character when I'm writing. So when I learned about Spanish Marie for the new single "Bad Bitch," it just won Trop Rock Music Video of the Year. And we were down in Key West, and I told my videographer I was first of all, when I got the idea for the song, I was at Key West Legal Rum Distillery. They have the Bad Bitch rum named after Spanish Marie Waite.
Mm-hmm.
She's a real live rum runner in the 1920s that took over her husband's rum running business when he died. And any dude that tried to screw her over, she would throw him overboard with concrete. And she was a bad bitch.
Nice.
So after like learning about this character, I was like, I got to know more. So I started doing research, and I wrote this song, and I sent it.
I own my own business, one thing's for sure. If you mess with my money, then you best beware. I'm packing more than barrels, and you know I ain't scared to pop a cap and a lover. I don't waste no time, I can buy me another. I'm a bad bitch, call me Spanish Marie. Run from Havana to Miami. Every man that crossed me, I put in concrete and buried him at the bottom of the sea. I'm a bad bitch, look into my eyes, can't hold me down, baby, I'm a one of a kind. I make my own fortune, I'm a hell of a ride, and dead men tell no lies. That's right, I'm a bad bitch.
To the rum distillery, and they loved it. And so I just went in and recorded it, and I was writing actually the song on the way back to Nashville in the car, pulled over because I just had the lyrics hit me, and then I finished the song in the studio. I rolled up that day. I said, "Hey Mark, we got to record this song because I love it and it's rocking and it's totally bad bitch." And then when I was coming up with the concept for the video, I was thinking, well, how can I basically be modern day bad bitch, because I am a Christian and I am, trying to be a role model for young girls and kids in general. I just released my children's book, and my friend said, "You're the only one that releases a children's book, Butterfly and Bad Bitch, in the same month."
Hey, there you go.
But it's both sides of me. It's got like this edgy grit, you can't mess with me kind of attitude, because I've had to be tough on the road by myself for 12 years.
Oh yeah.
But on the other side, I am a Christian. I do love people. I love God, and I want to be able to kind of lead that good example and legacy. So for the video, I had to be real careful to not offend people, because it's so easy these days, but also still be undeniably myself and come through with the power, with the girl power in your face, James Bond kicking ass. But then that's why there's a twist in it. So you gotta watch the video to find out the whole story. But it was a lot of fun shooting that, and I'm pretty excited about winning that first award in the Trop Rock segment.
See, that's great. Have you found it? And I ask a lot of the female artists that come on, have you found it a hard time breaking through with some of the misogynistic, male-dominated BS that goes on so much in today's music?
It is, but I just don't. I've never been a victim. I just would rather just go through balls blazing, kick the doors down, and be myself. And
That's
I've had tough times getting in venues. I've had tough times, but I also think that you kind of create your own luck the harder you work. And so for me, I've just never really let it be an excuse or a barrier. I've played sports my whole life. I was kind of underdog. I've always been really competitive. I sold cars for 7 years in California, and that is about the most male-dominated, shady industry you can prepare yourself for.
Doubt.
So that was a great like segment or segue into the music industry, because it is all men, and my band is all guys, and I've always been one of the guys. And so for me, I am a lady. I do love to dress up. I love certain things. But at the same time, I've never been like a flower. I've always been like, I'm as tough as you. I can play sports better than you. I can beat you at anything. And I'm so competitive that for me, it's just game on. And when I got to Nashville, I started hanging out with some really great guys like Eric Lee Bedingfield and the late, great Wayne Mills, Outlaw, and running with that crowd. And there was just no difference. I mean, I could bust their balls as quick as they could bust mine. And
Nice.
We would just give each other crap back and forth. And I've always just had like a sarcastic kind of joke and humor. I mean, being from the South, you just kind of grow up, and especially being in sports, being more of a tomboy, I've just never really felt like it was a disadvantage. Now, is it a fact that there's less radio play for women? Yes. Is it a fact that there's way less women signed artists? Yes. But I think the cream rises to the top, and I just write my songs. I've written a lot of songs for guys, and I love being able to tell their story and put myself in their shoes. Mark Bray just released my song, I Just Need a Drink, and it got to number 32 on the charts.
Nice.
So when you got male producers and male artists calling you for songs,
you're doing something
cool
right. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I'm one of those rare people that, or at least around, that I'm a huge supporter of women doing the music side, because I'm sorry, women write some of the best heartache songs and honky tonk songs than anybody out there. And I mean, I've worked in bars or played in bars over the years. You know, we don't hire women singers. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Exactly.
Because you're missing out on, you know, you need the women artists to come in because they're going to bring the guys in, obviously. But you've got women, they're going to come because they're going to come listen to another woman before they want to hear some bro country that, you know, some guy's doing right down the road. And, you know, it's going to be, you know, 80, 90% guys sitting in there and no women where they don't feel comfortable. So, you know, I love the fact, and I loved your attitude about that. It's like, you know what? I'm a badass and I'm not taking anything less.
Right. And my new single, Change the World, it's all about women. I was in Costa Rica, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I've been, you know, on this mission for a while of like, how can I make a difference? How can my songs impact other people? And, you know, I mean, of course you write songs for yourself to heal, or for yourself to just, you know, get through the day or whatever hits me. And sometimes it's just to laugh, and sometimes it's to cry and whatever. But I feel like when I'm on stage, I know those songs that hit people through the heart, like Mustard Seed and Drinking and Praying, and songs that tell the real stories that sometimes, like The South Will Rise Again after a tornado, the people in the South coming together. And so I love being able to tell those heartache stories. And even though sometimes people don't want to hear a sad song at midnight at the bar, they need to. And it's really cool to be able to write a song like Change the World. And then I'm working with a lot of women and some of these nonprofits that I've reached out to, and they're super excited about being a part of the project and the music video, because I want to make it more than a song. Like, I want to make a movement and a campaign to where, I mean, it's telling little girls and 80-year-old women, you can be the girl that could change the world. Yep. And I think that empowering them with that message, and I've never been a feminist, like, you know, I love men too. I've been boy crazy, and if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have 9 albums. But at the same time, I think it's like about time that women kind of realize their strength and don't feel defeated, that they're comfortable in their own skin, that they don't have all the body image. I mean, I've got a song, If You Can't Skinny Dip, Chunky Dunk, and I've never been afraid to be myself. Yeah, being from the South, I love to eat good food. But being in the music industry, if you're not healthy, if you're overweight, yeah, it's a lot more challenging. So it's just always this yin and yang. And so I just want to get that message out there to little girls that, you know, no matter what, no matter where you come from, no matter what your color is, your background, your age, your size, like, you can make a difference. And so that's been like my real big push this year, is trying to transform that and get the message out.
See, I love your attitude. See, there needs to be more people like you in this world. Seriously. I mean, we've got some local women that are really, they're working on putting together a Honky Tonk women tour, because I mean, and it's just, well, Leanne Long is involved with that, and Brandy Cole and a couple others. And, you know, I'm so damn proud of those ladies, because I mean, they're strong, they're going to do their thing. And that's kind of like their way to give the middle finger to everybody in every one of these bars and everything that have been like, you know what, we don't bring female artists in because nobody wants to hear them. And they're gonna probably sell out every venue they do because of that.
It's like, we're gonna show you what you're missing, boys.
Exactly. And I think they don't get enough credit for the creativity and some of the songwriting that they're doing, because I mean, these ladies are putting out some killer stuff. Mm-hmm. So I know you said you kind of came up in church, you know, singing and everything, which, you know, anybody from the South that's had anything to do with music is pretty much gonna, you know, yeah, I started singing in church. I don't know anybody that didn't start. I mean, heck, I started singing in church. But who were some of your biggest influences?
I guess in the 90s, I really loved anything 90s country. I listened to a lot of Trisha Yearwood. Was my first cassette I owned, and Dixie Chicks, Shania Twain, Faith Hill. But as I got older, I started getting more when I started singing in the classic rock band. That was when I really dug deeper into Rolling Stones and Led Zepp and Leonard Skinner and just Marshall Tucker Band and Allman Brothers and Fleetwood Mac. And so I feel like it was always in me to love rock. I mean, my first CD was Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream. So a lot of people think I'm a country singer.
Answering some of my
country music.
You're answering some of my questions I have for you later. But that's all right though, because we'll talk about that because the Smashing Pumpkins one is a great one. I always love rock. I love the grit. I love the energy. I love the big electric guitar sounds. But I love a country story. I love old school. And then I started digging more into Willie Nelson and Patsy Cline and Hank Jr. and Sr. and being able to kind of be older, because my parents didn't listen to that. My daddy listened to oldies, mama listened to Christian music. And so I was sitting in my room listening to everything from Mary J. Blige in the 90s to, Nirvana. And then you get into the countryside, you got Clay Walker and Tim McGraw and the 90s country that I still love, and I feel like that's a big part of my music is the storytelling and the background. But then you get new artists that come out like, Eric Church and I just love listening to even Brothers Osborne and modern stuff on the country radio that still tells a story, that's got a good driving beat, that's got, a kick-ass rock guitar solo and just to blend that all with little pedal steel and fiddle, because I think that should still be in a lot of music, Yep.
I don't think we should forget the roots, but every song doesn't need a banjo, every song doesn't need a fiddle, but when it's in there, I think it's done right, and that's what makes those songs cry and have the emotion and have the heartache sound. So
Absolutely.
I love just being able to produce my own music and produce other albums to blend the styles and go where the song is. Because Bad Bitch is a rock song all day long. But songs like on my earlier albums, like I'm Just Your Woman, I mean, that's as country as it gets. And I've got some new stuff coming down the line that's really, I mean, even on this new album, that is very old school country driven, but with some modern production spins. So I like being able to blend both sides of my backgrounds of country and rock.
And that's great because not everybody feels like they have to do one or the other.
Right.
When, there's a reason why we have that little term Southern rock, because that really gives you the room to, or even Americana, if you really want to, put a label on something, but, it's made for bringing in the rock and roll aspects because that's where it all came from. I'm on the process of this whole big movement that, we have, and I'm trying, I preach this to everybody that will stop and come on the show. The Carolinas and Georgia need their own term for things because, and I've pretty much dubbed this the Carolina Clay music scene, which Georgia's included in that because, they've got the same mud we've got.
That's right. I'm 30 minutes over the state line, brother.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm talking about. And I got family down that way, so I get it. But, you've got, Texas has their red dirt. The Midwest has their black dirt. Oregon's got their whole own scene, which is awesome. Do not get me wrong. But like I've been telling everybody, and I bring a lot of red dirt country artists on, and they actually respect this, but there was Carolina before there was Texas.
Yeah. And,
it's, the Carolinas and everything are where all that music kind of started and then branched out from. That's where when it went to Kentucky and when it went to Tennessee. And I think people have lost sight of that. Marshall Tucker, right here in upstate South Carolina.
Right.
Come on. Some of the richest music and the Carolinas have their own sound. You're from this way. So, but I think too many people forget that they've kind of lost their way, if you will. And, somebody just needs to be that little beacon to say, you know what? Take pride in where you're from now. Quit trying to be everybody else.
Exactly.
You don't have to be, you don't have to try to brand yourself as red dirt. You don't have to try to brand yourself as, that Midwestern country.
Right.
Stand up and be proud of where you got. Because guess what? You're never going to wash the clay out. You're never going to get those stains out of anything that ever gets on. So you might as well embrace it because, and it's not Nashville sound either. It's very unique to our own area. And so anybody that your stuff really, you're Carolina Clay. I mean, you're you too, and that allows you to bring in that rock and roll side. If you want to bring in the bluegrass side of it and everything, that's where this is the musical melting pot. Yeah. See, there we go. Sorry to get off on a tangent, but I want everybody to be able to take pride in where they.
Exactly. I'm all about the red clay in my veins.
I want people to take pride in where they're coming from and where their music came from. That you don't have to try to be like somebody else. And,
exactly.
And if that helps that newer artist coming up to maintain their integrity, that, this is my sound, and I'm not letting anybody tell me I've got to change it just so I can, so I fit in. Mm-hmm. Because, look at it. How many artists that are not signed and have record deals are out there just killing it right now?
Right.
It's being proven that you don't have to have all that to make it and get, two number one CDs back to back at number one. Just that one little guy that's playing up there. But,
I agree. And hard work cream rises to the top. And I think when people know you're real and authentic, they're going to buy on a lot quicker than if they think you're just trying to fit a mold and sell records.
Exactly.
But I've always been a rebel, so I guess I'm always going to be the one that's going against the grain because I've done everything on my own.
Well, and that's why I think you fit so much. You identify with that because you maintain your integrity no matter what, because you're going to do things your way because you made up your mind. You're not going to let anybody tell you can't.
Right, and I've always dressed how I want, write how I want, put the songs on my album that I like. That I'll listen to my fan feedback is what they want to hear, But deep down, it's going to be what I want to do, and I've had that freedom. So the luxury of being able to be independent versus being controlled and being a puppet has always been my number one priority.
And see, young ladies and young guys coming up, you guys need to be like her. She is giving you guys the roadmap on how to be positive and maintain who you are and not lose sight of that goal. Set your goal and just go for it. And what's the worst that can happen? You fall on your face.
That's the best thing that's ever happened to me. When I fall on your face, you just get stronger.
That's exactly. You get up, dust your knees off, get ready to take some more swings because, it's when you don't get back up is when there's a problem.
Right. I thought the breakup was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. I thought my life was over. And then next thing you know, I'm playing guitar and touring around the world playing my songs. And it's just funny looking back when you're in it. It's the worst tragedy that could happen. But then you realize it's a stepping stone and it turns out to be just a door opening for the best thing that could ever happen to me.
Exactly. And, you stay positive.
Mm-hmm.
And
you got to.
You really do. And I'm not a fan of a whole lot of happy music. That's just, I've always been drawn to the,
dark.
that darker, melancholy, angst, pain. I want to hurt after I've heard your stuff. But you're one of those different individuals that, I can't listen to you without smiling because it's happy music, but it tells dark stories. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. And I just love it. And not to fanboy too much for a minute here, but, for everybody, happy is not for everybody, when it comes to that kind of music.
And it took me a long time to write a happy song. Honestly, I was in such a hurt place. And so it had to come naturally. Like if you were to just sit there and say, write a happy song, I can't be put on the spot to write. It's got to be from my heart. And I remember somebody saying, why don't you just write a sweet love song? And so I wrote Whipped Cream because that was the only thing I could think of that was a sweet love song that I really was that passionate about at the time.
Yeah.
Through the years, it's evolved, and I've found better love stories, and I've found better inspiration, and I've seen it firsthand, and I've seen it from my friends, and I was having to write songs about my friends' love stories because I didn't have that happy ending. I didn't have that fairy tale. And to just be able to kind of channel that energy or put myself in their shoes, that's what it takes for me, I think. And that's one thing that I love being able to do, and to transition and have the different perspectives. Because, yeah, there's days that you feel like crap, but you might channel that other person's story or their situation, or the vice versa. I can be in the best mood ever and then just think about a tragic situation, like my cousin not being able to have a child, and for years and years, and praying and just wondering, but they kept trusting in God. And that's when I have came up with the song Mustard Seed. And it's like, sometimes God's plan isn't the same. We want sunshine, He gives us rain, but what we can't see up ahead is that we needed the water instead. He hears our cries of despair. Even though He can't see Him, He's always there. A little faith is all we need. Just wait and see what He can do with a mustard seed. And so there's just this song of hope, and this, even though there was a dark and a really desperate time. And so I love being able to kind of put myself in other shoes so that other people can relate to that, no matter what they're going through, not even a child or a miscarriage or anything, any struggle, any job, any relationship, any, financial situation. You just need a little mustard seed of faith to get through it.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, you've actually given us a good segue into, we're going to do the bare bones. These are some just quick little easy questions.
Okay.
Okay. Since you do play guitar, what kind of guitar do you play? Or what's your favorite one to play?
Love, and I'm endorsed by Breed Love, so I love them. But I do have a couple Gretches and a special custom-made Timber Aria electric guitar from Timber Guitars out of LA.
Nice. Okay, what's a band that you're really into right now?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see, what have I been listening to? Oh, I love Billie Eilish.
Everybody loves
I just think she's so cool. I mean, she's so, I love her bounciness. I love her energy. I love her style, and I love her ballads. I love that she can go from one spectrum to the other. And even though it kind of is dark, it does have hope. And, geez, the range on that kid.
Yeah.
It's
kind of
unreal.
ridiculous.
Her voice is so silky and smooth and polished, but she's got just such a hit vibe. So I'm really digging her album.
All right. What is your all-time favorite book?
The Bible, obviously. There's no competition there. But I will tell you, the devotional book, Draw the Circle, set my faith and prayer life on fire. So that's pretty incredible 40-day challenge if y'all are up for it.
Okay. All right. Pulled pork or brisket, dry rub or sauce. But if you go sauce, what kind is it?
So brisket, sauce, and my family's barbecue recipe.
Okay. That's fair enough. You've already told us what your first CD was. Smashing Pumpkins.
That's right.
Good choice. That is still a great album. I
What
listened
was
to
yours?
Mine? Kiss Love Gun, 1977. I bought it on red vinyl, and I still own it to this day.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, lifelong Kiss fan. I didn't always do country. I mean, I started out as a lead singer for a metal band. So, back in the day.
That's awesome.
But always been a Kiss fan. Just,
oh, cool.
Just it got in my blood back then and never went away. All right, what was your first concert?
Bush Goo Goo Dolls and No Doubt.
Oh, No Doubt. When Gwen Stefani was playing real music again.
It was in South Carolina. It was amazing. She was rocking out. And I'm still kind of infatuated with her today. Her new single with Blake, I love it.
Yeah, but I miss their No Doubt stuff.
Oh, of course. I mean, that Tragic Kingdom album was just insane. And Don't Speak, that song will crush me every time.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm Just a Girl. I sang that so many times in my rock band. I'll still sing it. Man, I need to bring that back in my set list.
There you go.
Think with the girl power, I'm gonna have to do it.
Actually, make it an acoustic.
Yeah.
Bring it down and do it in an acoustic, really tearing your heart out version of it.
Okay.
See,
Don't Speak or I'm Just a Girl.
Well, Don't Speak kind of goes too easy. You could do I'm Just a Girl and do it where, it's kind of that just real nasty, angsty, guitar to it. Oh man, that you might be onto something.
Okay.
That may blow up. And if it does, don't forget a brother.
Right here. Right here is where it happened.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Neither. I hate both of them.
Really?
I'm not hate. That's a strong word. I've just never been into sci-fi.
Okay.
So both of them, I guess I don't understand them because I didn't grow up watching them.
Gotcha.
Like, I was probably more like Jim and the Misfits or something when I was little. I mean, I was watching cartoons and stuff. I don't really know that I've ever gotten into it. My brother was huge Star Wars. So I guess if I had to pick, I'd go Star Wars over Star Trek. But really, that's not really
It's just not your thing.
No.
All right, my next question is a two-part. Okay, one, what is your jam song? It doesn't matter how many times you've heard this. That radio, that volume is getting turned up. You're just getting down to it, singing at the top of your lungs. But then, on the converse of that, what is your guilty pleasure song that you hate that you love it as much as you do?
Okay, well, for sure, Smooth Operator Sade is my jam. It has always been my jam since it was on vinyl in my living room since I was 5 years old. That song will get me going. It don't matter. That saxophone solo is so sweet, and her voice is so sexy. I can listen to Sade on any road trip all day, every day. What guilty pleasure song that I hate, that I love? Man, that's a great question. There was one that came on the other day, and I was thinking it was kind of like that embarrassing moment. Like, oh, I really dig it. I'm trying to think if it was like teeny bopper song or if it was more pop.
Debbie Gibson, I Think We're Alone Now.
Oh, I'm not guilty about that. I will jam that anytime.
Seriously, yeah, you got to. Like I
love
love anything about
show and meet Tiffany about 2 years ago, so that was pretty cool.
That is rad.
Bucket list check.
Seriously,
yeah.
It's like I'm a Britney Spears fan. I love her. I don't care how crazy she gets. I mean, she's done some great music. And I'm sorry, if Toxic doesn't come on, you don't turn it up. There's something wrong with you.
Which one?
Toxic.
Oh yeah, that'll.
Or Hit Me Baby One More Time. Come on, that's classic now. So I mean,
I don't know. I'm trying to think of one that I'm like ashamed of liking, because.
Or the unexpected.
Unexpected.
Because you kind of cross, with your musical taste, from what I'm gathering, you kind of go all the way across the board. So there's,
I'm all over the place, but I was kind of ashamed that I liked some Taylor Swift a while. I guess maybe now I'm realizing how talented she is musically. But for a while, being a blonde-headed girl, everybody's like, "Oh, you think it's like Taylor Swift?" And I was like, "No, it's not. It's so different. Mine's like country and real and dirty and gritty." And so I think that I was really defensive for so long that I felt like I was being compared to her. And I was like, I've written songs before she even moved to Nashville, But now, I mean, just having a much wider appreciation for her talent as a musician, absolutely, like, love her is pretty cute and catchy. So, but I mean, I'll let you know when I think of it, because I know there's one I heard the other day, and I was kind of thinking, like, yeah, this is my, like, undercover jam. But I'm going to think on it. When it's going to hit me at 3 a.m, I'm going to be like, that. Call Me Maybe is the one. No, I'm just kidding.
Just text me, because we'll do a recap. You know what? She came back and said this.
Exactly.
Person living or dead that you wish you could take to the stage with at least one time.
Oh, for sure, Stevie Nicks. Hands down, she's my favorite ever.
See, I like you more and more. Okay, do you have a life mantra or a personal mantra?
Yeah, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. If I have a bad day or I'm running up a hill, like on a jog, can't get that last mile, kicking it into full gear, I'll just start reciting that. I mean, that's the one verse that no matter what you're going through in life, no matter what's happening, I just auditioned for Survivor, and after like 6 rounds, I didn't get in. And I just felt like, you know what, I prayed about it, and if God wanted me on that show, He put me on there. But there's just certain things like that. You feel like the door closes and you feel let down, or times you don't get that slot for the show, or you don't get certain things and they don't go your way. But I'm like, you know what? Keep trying, because it took me 7 years to get into the Georgia Theater, and I've headlined it 4 times since then. So that persistence pays off is another big mantra of mine. But I definitely just, my faith in God can get me through anything.
Besides yourself, who should people be checking out right now musically?
Wow. There's so many great, talented songwriters in town. Kenzie Copen's killer. There's another girl that I just heard her new song, Jesus and Joan Jett, and her name is Tinsley. I'm going to have to think of it. Something Tinsley. And I was blown away by her song. And her songwriting and her voice is so pretty, edgy. And I get to write with so many cool, talented artists and songwriters and singers and hear their voice. But those really stood out to me. I'm writing with Kaylee Hill tonight, and she's got an incredible voice. Baker Grissom is one of my favorite songwriters and co-writers. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Let me look up her Tinsley. No. It says I roll with Jesus and rock with Joan Jett. And her song just rocks. But so yeah, look out for that song. I don't know, she hasn't released it yet, but that's like one I'm really excited about that I heard at the Writers Round. And I'm playing with a lot of people tonight. I forgot what day it was, at the Freak Show in Nashville. And so several cool writers, and you never know who'll show up. Last week, William Michael Morgan popped in and played.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, you're going to love this one. Everybody loves this one because they're just like, where did I not hear that? But what would your spirit animal be and why? See, and that's the look I get every time I ask that question. I've had one person and he hasn't even been on the show, and he's a songwriter in Nashville. He texted me and he goes, "Well, I'd be a dolphin, of course, because I went to WNCW or Western Carolina University," and I'm like, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But
man, I'm like not delicate enough to be a butterfly, even though I love their freedom and their colorfulness. Immediately I thought wolf, but I'm probably too nice to be a wolf. And then I'm thinking it needs to be something that's like free.
It can be mythical
and fun
too.
And wild.
It can be mythical too. My buddy pulled off one and said, "Oh, I'd just be a unicorn because it's wrong."
Well, and I think that a lot of people are going that direction, and it's funny because my new song says you can't kill this cactus, and so it's like basically saying I ain't no damn unicorn.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm definitely not the unicorn. I'm more of the cactus, but that's not an animal. So,
hey, you can make this is your spirit animal. You can have people as spirit animals. Why not a cactus?
It might be a Pegasus, like just wild, can fly, is also
and
furry,
stomp your face in if you need to,
and probably multicolored like a peacock. I might just go Pegasus. Is that a mythical creature?
That's a mythical creature. Well done. Well played.
I like it. Okay.
All right, you got any shout outs you want to give?
Well, for sure, Piedmont boys, because I can't play with y'all. I can't wait to play with y'all on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Bring your loved ones or come and bash your exes and drink your sorrows away on Valentine's Day with us.
Right
over in Piedmont, South Carolina.
At Tribble's Bar and Grill.
Tribble's Bar and Grill is kicking off at 8 o'clock, so y'all get there early. Bring me some chocolates. I need some. I'm going to be lonely. I prefer Trader Joe's peanut butter cups if you're really going to bring it.
If I know Ken, there will probably be something out there along those lines. Because
I'd like to give a shout out to my girl Stevie Nicks for coming and stopping by and doing a duet with me.
Hey, you never know around here who might show up and walk through those doors and be like, "Hey, you mind if I get up and do a song with you?" Because
I would also like to give a shout out to Hello Gorgeous. I just met with them 2 days ago, and this is amazing charity up in Indiana, and they are basically restoring the beauty that cancer steals by giving makeovers to cancer patients one a month. Or she's trying to get salons to participate all over the country, and it's a pretty incredible mission to be able to kind of to just make their day better after they've been through such a shitty battle with cancer and going through chemo and getting them like a wig if they need it, a new outfit, teaching them how to do their makeup and skincare that's not going to hurt them with their sickness and make them worse. So I thought that was a pretty incredible mission. So I'm excited to team up with them. So Hello Gorgeous.
I love it. I wish there were something like that for guys. Because when my dad was going through a battle with cancer, the last year and a half, he's free and clear now, but, nobody thinks about the guys on that side of things. They need something to kind of make them feel a little more uplifted and everything. Maybe I need to find a charity to...
Dude, invent it. Man, start it up.
Man, I got so many irons in the fire right now.
I'm sure. Yeah.
That, because, I'm making this my business right now. This is what I'm doing. And, it's like any new artist that's getting up, hey, I just need sponsors. I need anybody that wants to invest in something good to keep music alive and keep the music for independent artists across this country going, because I try my best to be an outlet for people that not everybody else is going to get a chance to hear.
That's amazing.
So that's one of my biggies there. But we'll go on about that later. Folks, be good to one another. I appreciate you tuning in. And thank you, Erica, for coming on the show today. It's been a blast talking with you. You're awesome. I can't wait to come out and hear your show.
Known you forever.
Yeah, and hey, that's what happens. You make friends when you do this because you're just having conversations, and that's what makes things even better on that. All right, folks, I will catch you next week.
I fall asleep to the sound of your voice banging around in my head. I close my eyes, feel the touch of your skin like we're still lying in your bed. And for a moment I whisper softly, as I'm pretending in the darkness you're still here. You hit me like a heat wave in the night, electrify like lightning when it strikes, burning up like the fire in your eyes. You hit me like a heat wave, heat wave. You hit me like a heat wave, heat wave. I see your face and every stranger is dangerous. I swear